Hi guys, I hope you're all well and welcome to episode 117 of the Layton Fitness Podcast. Now in this specific episode we'll be discussing what is the best type of training to do for more fat loss. This may be a very popular podcast for a lot of you because if you've ever done any research online or on magazines, you may be overwhelmed, confused because one fitness professional says one thing, another says something completely different, and you're just wondering who is right or who is wrong. So in this specific podcast we'll be taking a big step back and actually looking at what are our main objectives within the fat loss phase, and then we can use that knowledge to approach what is the best type of training to achieve those goals. And that really brings me on to my first point, and that is what are the two main objectives within the fat loss phase, and that is losing body fat and maintaining as much muscle mass as possible. And often people forget this secondary objective of maintaining as much muscle mass as possible, but that really is the key to having a successful fat loss phase and really creating the look you're after. And this applies exactly for males and females, for both. Sometimes females think when I discuss maintaining muscle mass within the fat loss phase, they think it's just for males, but it's for both. So obviously for males, you want to achieve a lean physique while maintaining a lot of muscle mass. You don't want to be skinny, you actually want to have some muscle mass to show for your training efforts. However, with the females, we still need to be maintaining muscle mass. Especially females want to have well developed glutes, they want to have defined shoulders and arms, they want to have a defined stomach, and all of this is achieved via having weight training as the foundation of your routine. We must have this in place for males and females, and the reason why this is critical is this will help us achieve our secondary objective of maintaining muscle mass within the fat loss phase. So females, you want to maintain the muscle mass around your glutes, lower body, to have well-defined arms, shoulders. For males, we want to obviously maintain as much muscle mass as possible to have a muscular physique. We don't want to be skinny, we want to have big chest, shoulders, arms, well-developed legs, and again that comes from weight training as a foundation. So that's critical to have in place first. And with regards to weight training, we're really looking to focus mainly on the big compound lifts, things like squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press. These big key foundational lifts or variations of these really allow us to maintain the most amount of muscle mass within the fat loss phase. The reason why is we can use the most amount of weight with these given exercises. We're using big barbell movements that allows us to have more weight on the bar. This allows us to move more weight to essentially maintain more volume within the fat loss phase. So volume sets times reps times load. So it allows us to do more total work, and as such helps us to better maintain more muscle mass within the fat loss phase. So that needs to be the foundation. And then once we have that in place first, then we're merely using cardio and or calories as tools to really create the energy deficit needed for fat loss. Remember, we must be burning more calories than we're consuming within the fat loss phase with weight training to preserve that loss of muscle mass, and therefore the weight we are losing is mainly going to be body fat, some water and glycogen, a small amount of muscle mass, but mainly body fat what we'll be losing because we've got that weight training to preserve as much muscle mass as possible. Additionally, it's really important to note that the cardio and also decreasing calories are tools to really continue to bust through fat loss plateaus. As I mentioned many times before, fat loss plateaus are perfectly normal within the fat loss phase, and that's really your cue to make a change to either calories and or cardio to continue creating the energy deficit needed for fat loss. So keep that in mind. And then the weight training main focus is really trying to maintain as much strength as possible. As calories are being decreased, as cardio is increasing, it can be difficult to continue to gain strength as you would do perhaps in a muscle building phase as calories are higher and you're doing less cardio, and therefore maintaining strength is really our main goal. Keep striving for progress, i.e. getting stronger over time, but it's really all about trying to maintain your lifts as best you can to maintain that strength and therefore maintain more muscle mass within the fat loss phase. Now it's also important to note that there's a slight difference between females and males within the fat loss phase in terms of the amount of cardio. Just typically, unfortunately for females, you just require more cardio and less calories to lose body fat than males. So it's important to note that typically, in addition to your weight training, you'll be starting out the fat loss phase on more cardio, less calories than a male would. And also remember that the main goal within the fat loss phase is really to lose body fat on as many calories as you can while performing as little cardio as possible. The reason why is this allows you to better maintain muscle mass because calories are higher to maintain more strength in the gym. You're not doing as much cardio, which can mean you're more fatigued for your weight training sessions. So just remember that big goal of doing as little cardio as possible and consuming as many calories as you can while still making fat loss progress. So keep in mind, don't just start out the fat loss phase on 7 days a week cardio in addition to extremely low calories. You really want to eke out as much progress as possible on as many calories as you can on as little as cardio as possible. So hopefully that's been useful. Hopefully that's helped clarify how to go about the fat loss phase. Remember those two objectives: maintaining muscle mass and losing body fat, and that therefore dictates that we must have weight training as the foundation of our routine, and then we're merely adding cardio to further increase energy expenditure, create the energy deficit needed for fat loss. So thank you very much for listening. If you're still yet to download my free ebook, How to Set Up a Nutrition Plan, if you go to James Layton, Layton fitness.co.uk, you'll see a tab at the top of the page called free ebook, and you can download that immediately. Thank you very much. I look forward to speaking to you next week.